Sonia reporting there. Well, for more on this growing sector in China, let's bring in Andy Mok, the founder of Red Pagoda Resources. So, Andy, with so much free information already available online, why are people still willing to pay for certain content?
Well, that's a great question. When Willie Sutton, the notorious bank robber, was asked, why did he rob banks? He replied, because that's where the money is. According to a recent survey, more than 50% of Chinese internet users are willing to pay for content because that's where the quality is.
And when it comes to answers that require specialized knowledge, say, for example, medical advice, what are these companies doing to ensure the quality of the content?
Well, that's one of the key challenges of launching these types of platforms. One way companies are addressing this challenge is through curation, by first vetting the experts and the people providing the answers. And that's very, very important, as we've seen in other developments in China where misleading advertising has created problems, particularly in the health area.
Now, let's also look at the business model behind this. If you look at Quora, it's built a question and answer database, but all its funding comes from venture capital and angel investors, but it doesn't actually generate revenue. So now that we have these monetized platforms in China, what are some of the major business models that are supporting it?
Well, I think a great example of a business model is a company called Funda that applied good old-fashioned Chinese ingenuity to ignite a cycle of content creation, consumption, and most importantly, monetization. And how they do that is, first of all, you or I can ask a question of someone about anything from stock trading tips to makeup advice. And the person asking offers a certain amount to the person if they answer. Now, here's where the Chinese ingenuity comes in. The answer must be in an audio format of a minute or less. And then the company charges 15 cents, 1 kwai, for anyone else that wants to listen to that answer, and splits the revenue with the person asking the question as well as the person answering it.
So given all these different models and trying to generate revenue, what can Chinese pay-to-know services learn from other markets?
Well, I think if you look at companies like Quora, Reddit, Ask Me Anything, LinkedIn, the key is to build a core base of very reputable, high-profile power users that can provide good answers and attract other users. That's very, very key, I think, to the success of these models.
Now, being that some of these models, some of them are not revenue generating and some of them are, some of them offer premium content. So overall, what's your outlook then for growth in this market?
Well, I think the growth prospects are pretty exciting. If we look at it from a macro perspective, more than 50% of China's GDP now comes from services. Urbanization rates are headed towards 70%, which is driving the rise in the value of intellectual property. So as more and more Chinese are seeking good answers and willing to pay for it, we're seeing what some people in China are calling the age of knowledge monetization. And I think it's a very, very exciting area.
And just quickly, any potential challenges that you see to that growth?
Well, I think the challenges are the ones that are faced by any company looking to build an internet platform, in that there's always this chicken and the egg issue of you have to get good users as well as good content providers and manage that, maintain that balance as you grow the platform. And some of the other issues that companies have encountered in China with misleading advertising, requiring better vetting of information, I think are challenges perhaps unique to China, but look like they're also on their way to being addressed.
And just to follow up on that, do you expect then the market to mature as it continues to grow?
I think it absolutely will mature because these are new business models, these are new services, and these companies, the fundas, which funda, by the way, in Chinese means 1-minute answer, are learning as they're going, both on the product side as well as on the monetization side. And I think systemically, the government is also learning as it's going as well.
All right, thank you for joining us, Andy Mok, founder of Red Pagoda Resources.